How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Tommy with us broadcasting from Philippines. And he is an American teacher that is teaching farmers how to build dome structure with bamboo. Bamboo is really strong. It's a great material. Vertical gardening and to open freeze and manage healthcare clinics. Wow, that's amazing. Doubly major abnormal psychology and accounting author, teacher, entrepreneur, 28 years marriage ended, become homeless. Oh, wow. On purpose and vowed the poverty for 10 years, living on farms on the East Coast and works in faith with God. Wow, Tommy, this is fantastic story. So tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, it's very simple. First of all, there is no formula. So you don't seek a formula. That's and that's based on a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And these researchers went out and found rich people, and they found they're very frugal, and they had no intention of being a millionaire. They just what they did is they did something very well, and that's what you do. So the second one is you want to focus on what can I do to make your life better? And so it's not chasing the dollar, it's not chasing the pound. What you're looking for is what I can do to help you and make your life better. Number 3 would be real estate is the fastest way to wealth. So obtaining real estate. 4 would be find desperate sellers. Find people who've got a problem, and that's where you're going to solve their problem. And then when they say price, you say terms. And if they say terms, you say price. What I mean by that, if they want, let's say, $1 million, then you say, okay, I'll pay you this today, this tomorrow. So you can determine when you pay. If they say, I really need an income over a period of time, I just want a little bit in the next 20 years, well, then you get to dictate the price. So if they dictate the price and the terms, then they're not desperate. So that's what you're looking for. And then number 5, you want to find desperate buyers. It's really simple. So you offer them a solution to their problem. And so it's that simple. Those are the 5 steps I would use.
Wow, Tommy, that's very powerful. Out of the 500 millionaires that we interview in this broadcast, 1 out of 5 are real estate investors, or they are in the real estate in some space. Some people are doing development, some people are doing flipping, some people are doing different strategies, but all in the real estate, commercial, residential, all in the real estate space. My first business was in real estate in London. I was doing rent to rent just prior Airbnb. We're talking about 18 years ago. We were renting a property and rented, fix them up and then rented separated by units. And we before even Airbnb, so we managed to sell 5 million doing this. So we're very grateful for property. But my question to you is this one, Tommy. To our listeners, people that want to be entrepreneurs or they are also entrepreneurs, can you tell us what are the good, the bad, and the ugly of property entrepreneurs? Because no matter what I say, everybody listening to the podcast, they say, you know what? This is pure statistic. 1 out of 5 people that show up to Harry's podcast, they've been in property, they have done some stuff with property, and they are a millionaire. So I want to be a millionaire, I want to do property. So tell us what's the honest truth about properties so our audience can have the whole 360 approach.
Sure. Well, first of all, there are people who are agreeable, and that's part of the problem. So when you've got a renter and they say, I can't pay, oh, it's okay. So you're a very agreeable person. And then on the other side, you can be a disagreeable person, and they say, get out. So, and then how do you handle that kind of personality? And that's what you got to do. You got to be partnered up. And that's where that's what they said, Jesus said to his disciples, is go 2 by 2. And there's a reason why we see Mormons walking around and riding their bicycle 2 by 2, because one watches the other and the other one watches the other. So a partnership would be great. Once you get into a three-way partnership, then it's two against one. So I don't recommend a three-way or more than that. Just a simple partnership, but they would have to be more of the disagreeable personality type, and you can be the more agreeable, or vice versa. But that way,
Wow.
when you're
I learned
negotiating,
something
yeah,
very good from you
yeah,
today. Very
yeah.
powerful.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's fantastic because the yeah, with tenants, yeah, I'm the agreeable. Yeah, I've
Right.
been this type of person all my life. Oh, I cannot pay you rent today. Ah, don't worry, pay it later and everything. My managers, on the other hand, they
Mhm.
made up in completely different structure. They to the girls, the managers, they had to pay the rent. So it's a
Or
different
another way of, yeah,
personality, like you said. Yeah.
another way of saying it is like an iron fist and a velvet glove. So you're the velvet glove, but someone's got to be the fist. Someone's got to
Hmm.
keep them in line, and so people
Hmm.
will take any chance they can if you allow it. So
Hmm.
you can't be taken advantage of unless you allow it. So you and me, we be pushovers, but that's where you got to have somebody else be no. This is the way it is.
So tell us how it is should become a property entrepreneur because the like definitely you see you're an academic and you're very respectful in what you do. However, in order to build wealth, right? The salary of teacher is not gonna help you that much as a property portfolio. So how come you decided to, apart from being my parents are teachers, by the way, yeah, but they never been entrepreneurs. So how come? Tell us about this transition about from your academic career to on the side. Make sure that you took care of your financial wealth, sustainable. Look at you. You're living in Philippines.
Well,
It's just unbelievable. You see? So, how you made that shift? What happened to your life? From where this entrepreneurship came to a teacher? Tell us.
Well, well, if you want to start with the entrepreneur, starting when I was 7 years old, and I wanted money, and I figured out how I could get a cake mix and Kool-Aid mix, and I made a cake and drink, and I sold it in my garage on Saturday. And some of my friends came over and they didn't have any money. I said, if you go get me three paying customers, I'll give you a slice of cake. So
Wow.
that's where you can motivate other people to do your work for you. So it's kind of like trying to think is expanding your ability to reach other people. So it's kind of like a funnel. What you want to do is visibility and then credibility. What comes out of the funnel is your profit. So the things with real estate is I saw a piece of property. This was a long time ago when we had the multiple listing book. And so I took a look at the property and there was no sign on the property. Nobody knew it was for sale. I took the effort of looking it up. So I contacted through my real estate agent and I made a $20,000 cash offer, but it was worth 60. So you got to offer them a
Wow.
low ball, right? Right. So, and then they went 60 because they hadn't had an
But Tommy, they
offer
were
in
not even selling the house because it was no sign.
there was no sign. So for a year and a half, they
You
didn't get a
just
single offer.
So what happened? The house was empty, or the people were living there, or
It was vacant land, so it
wow,
was right. So it was valued at 60,000. That's what it should have sold for. But since they never got a single offer, I was the first one in a year and a half. So then they countered. And they said, okay, 30,000,
wow,
but that's what they wanted, 30,000. So I said, okay, my 20,000 cash still stands. Now I made it complicated. I made that 30,000 two or three loans with different interest rates, balloon payments. And my agent said, I don't even understand it. I said, you don't have to. So I sent
hmm,
them a confusing thing. And then they went, okay, 20,000 and you pay the closing costs, which was
hmm,
$750. So for a
hmm.
very low amount of money, I got a deal. And
Tell
then
me because
one recently,
I'm a big fan of your phrase, yes, and I'm rooting for the phrase all the time. Yeah, it's never about the price; it's always about the terms. Yeah, and in
mhm.
property, that have been very helpful in my career
So
in property
yeah,
because It's not about the price. We all worry about the price. No, this much. Why you don't give it cheaper? Why you don't do this? And at the end of the day, when it comes to property, uh, if they're happy with this price and they're not gonna move for this price, I'm not gonna battle with the. I'm not gonna lose the deal because of this pricing. No way.
Yeah.
We're gonna arrange some terms, right?
Mhm.
Because
So
for
a
me,
more
who
recent
cares if I
one,
already got the property and I have enough time to paint it and rent it more expensive and whatever, I can give him this
yeah,
price, but they need to give me, in London, a pub, Tommy. This is true story
well,
happened to me. It was a pub in London,
yeah,
took fire. Nobody want to touch
oh,
it, close to Brick Lane.
oh,
And when it was a
right,
big problem that nobody want to touch it, guess where it landed? In Harry's lab. Harry, look, this
yeah,
pub. People were thinking that it was gonna cost 100,000 to fix it. I arrived to the thing with my team, and we touching the walls and say, look, I don't see any structural problem here. I mean, it's bad. It's they were they
oh,
were they were they were
appearance.
horrible because they were dark because of course got fire. But the fire brigade right really quickly. The structure was actually no
Mhm.
damage. But people went there. They got so scared. They say, "Oh my God, got to invest 100,000 here. Let me get out." Nobody want to touch the pub. So I took the pub, Tommy, and I remember I said to the guy, "Look, you give me 6 months, okay? How much you want rent? No, I want rent this money." Say, look. Can you get the rent lower? No, I cannot get the rent lower. Okay, very good. This is what we're gonna do. You give me 6 months so I can fix it, and like that. And after the 6 months, I'll give you this amount in rent. Is that okay? And they told me, yes, fantastic. So Tommy, in 2 months we finish. The other two, the other 2 months that we rent the thing, we use all this money for the investment that I had to put to fix the whole thing. We get 2 months full profit, and then we pay the rent and we make our markup. It was beautiful and all based in your phrase. It's never about the price. It's also about the time. The guy said, "I want this rent, and I'm not gonna move a pound less." And I say, "Okay, this." That's
Yeah,
what you're gonna do. That's okay. If you give me some room, I'll give you that room. I knew that after the pub is refurbished and everything, I can easily pay that rent and make a mark on top of. By the way, we make it was amazing. It was at the end of the day, the product was even better than what happened. So, Tommy, where do you learn this? Where do you learn about those things? Because you're a teacher, you're not a negotiator, you
mhm.
were not even a property investor. So, from where you learn that? How this
My
idea?
dad
How
was
this
a
idea came to you? You're an academic person. You're not an entrepreneur. You're not a business person.
Well, my dad was a certified public accountant.
Ah,
And so by
wow.
hanging out with him, you would call him ACA there in England. But I was hanging around with him and going to meetings, and I would learn about limited partnerships where the partner puts no money up, but is in complete control. And all the
Mm-hmm.
limited partners put in their portion, and they're only limited to their investment. They can't be sued for more than what they put in. So that worked out really well. So I utilized that in many cases.
Wow. So tell us then, Tommy, about let's talk about social responsibility, okay? Because you do an amazing job there in Philippines, right? And you teaching farmers how to do these houses. By the way, bamboo is very strong structure. And so it's possible to do good and make money at the same time. And we need a lot of more entrepreneurs like you with this social responsibility. Well, yours is even global, it's not even local because you're not even in the United States, you're in Philippines helping out farmers there. So tell us about this holistic process as an entrepreneur, because at the end of the day, I give one conference once in Peru when we went to do speaking tour in Peru. I was telling to the promoter, I want to speak to the people. We usually go to Singapore, to Dubai, to London, to when people have a lot of affordability. So I want to speak with the people in Peru, and they brought an audience which it was women leaders, women community leaders. There is a law in Peru that the kids that don't have money, they need to have a glass of milk. These women are the women that take this powdered milk and distribute it to the kids in all the city, right? In So the first time that I did a conference to a community leader women, and that changed my whole perspective because it was the only conference that we didn't get paid, and it was the most fulfilling because you can see
Right.
that the job you're doing can actually make a huge impact. So that conference actually changed my life and changed my purpose and everything. So Tommy, how have been your journey, right? That you don't need to be in Philippines. You can be in a
Anywhere in the
cruise,
world. Right.
enjoying holiday, living your life. You don't have to be there. So why do you there then?
Well, the reason why I'm here, as I say in the local language, is Naga Pangita sa Asawa. I came here looking for a wife. So, and I have found a fiance. She's wonderful. So that's what I came here for. But I didn't have a place to stay, and I had knew nobody in the Philippines. So there's a website called WWOOF. That's Worldwide Opportunity Organic Farming. And so farmers want you to stay at their place, and in exchange for your labor, you get to live there, room and board. So you have something to eat and you have a place to sleep. So there were many of them located there in the Philippines. So I contacted them and one responded, which was near Manila. So I flew into Manila and I lived on the farm for about 6 weeks. And I taught
Wow.
them how, yeah. And I didn't have to pay any rent. So I was living on about $100 a month at even if that was just to buy us a few things that I wanted to eat and stuff like that, and some little things. So you can live very inexpensively here.
I know.
And so, yeah, so then I taught them how to build a dome house. We put up an 8 meter dome in a one person did it in 4 hours. And so I go back soon to teach a workshop to more of the local people. And the whole point is that once I teach them how to do this, then they become a dome builder. So they only need to know one number, how wide the dome is or how tall. And it can be the shape of a tunnel too. So you can do a tunnel or a
Wow.
dome. And once they have the one number, the computer calculator tells them how to build each stick, how long each stick is. They drill a hole. And when it comes to the job site, there's no tools. No tools are needed. It's all by
Wow.
zip ties. So zip ties put the dome up, and one person can do it in 4 hours. Four people can do it in an hour. So, and now I have left somebody not only know how to build a dome, but now they have a business. That's the whole thing is to leave behind someone who can make some money, especially on real estate. So you can have a
Yeah,
piece of
you're
raw
doing what
land.
you really love. You're still in the real estate,
Yeah.
yeah.
And within 4 hours, you've got a dome on it. It could be a house, it could be a barn, it could be a
Wow.
greenhouse. So lots of different opportunities.
What gave you this idea?
Well, back from I read an obituary in 1983. There was a guy who died. His name was Buckminster Fuller, and I never heard of the guy before. And he's the guy behind the dome. So I read all of his books, and ever since that day, I think geometrically. This is how I operate. So I combine things together. So one thing is you have a greenhouse. Now you can do vertical gardening. So instead of bending over like we've all done for 10,000 years, it's time to stand up and do all your food vertically. And
Mm.
so right now I have orders for 54 metric tons of turmeric, and I don't even
Wow.
have a location. Well, so we grow turmeric here, and that's what happened when I went to that first farm. I learned what they're doing. They're growing turmeric and also bamboo. But so I put an offer out that I can deliver turmeric. And so I got international orders for the turmeric. So now I need to get them to be a guaranteed purchase order. I'm just not going to go out and grow 54 million metric
Absolutely.
tons, and hopefully they'll pay. So
No
once I
way.
have a contractual agreement, then I build the dome and grow the food. It takes about 6 months. And so it's all done on hydroponic, and it's that simple. So and then the other thing is once you have a structure, now you can offer people self-managed medical care clinics. So what we do to teach them anatomy and physiology, how does the body work? And we have relaxing devices. We have strange things that they've never seen before. And we utilize that in our treatment. And people get their cancer in 30 days gone, or any kind of a first aid, they get dealt with right away. And we're kind of like a triage. So if it's way beyond what we can handle, we're able to get them out to a hospital or some immediate need, but we can at least treat them right away. And that's the whole idea, is they become the doctor, no longer reliance on a guy with a white coat who in America was paid $1 million to jab 6,000 people with a poison, this COVID thing, and their people are dying from this thing. So I do not trust those people with a white coat.
Yeah, especially Tommy with this philosophy, right? So this is how it works. You pay insurance, yeah, and then what I'm thinking is like should be good if it's the other way around, yeah. When we are healthy, yeah, when we are healthy, we pay, and then when we are sick, we don't pay. How about that? Yeah, then everybody
That's the way it used
will
to
be
be.
interested to keep us healthy, right?
That's the way it used to be,
Should
is
be
that you pay
free.
the
Should be
doctor.
free when we are sick. Because if we tend to, yeah, if we turn this around, you will see everybody will be worried to keep us keep us healthy, right? Because oh my God,
Well, that
if they
yeah.
if they get sick, it's free, so they don't
Well,
pay,
that
right?
ties in. Well, what you just said ties into my whole belief that we're in a free revolution. So there was an agricultural revolution, then a industrial revolution, then in the 1950s, there was a distribution. Then in the 70s was a computer revolution. In 2000, we got the information revolution. And then in 2015, we had the infotainment and also the partnership revolution. And I believe we're now in the free revolution, because just what you said, everyone expects it to be free. Free shipping, free Wi-Fi, sugar-free, cholesterol-free. Everything is free, free, free. So I have figured out how to offer people free housing and how you can become extremely wealthy.
Wow, that's very
You want
good.
to hear that one?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Tell us more.
This is what's going to happen. So in the state of Maine, and the one state of the entire United States, is the oldest people. It's the number one geriatric state. So the most old people live in one
The
state. And that's
blueberries
where I was
from there
living
are
for.
fantastic. I
Yeah,
have
little
been
tiny
eating them, the
blueberries.
tiny ones. Oh, they are
Correct.
amazing, full of antioxidants. I
Those are
consume them a lot.
those are the main blueberries. So
Yes.
what is happening is that little old ladies, and I say that with affection, are living in a house that's too big for them. And you think about it, about 100 years ago, there was in a community, there was like 300 or 400 people, and they're all from the same family, and they're all from the same church. So, but now it's that one little lady in a cold house. She's got to hunker down. At the end of the month, there's not enough food because she uses up her food stamps in the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then there's no one to take care of her. There's no one to take care of the house. It's falling apart. And she's lonely, depressed, and suicidal. So you take 5 of those little ladies who own their own house. That's the other thing too. That state has the highest ownership, not with a mortgage. They own the property in the house. So it's the economy of scale. My brother was on the Ticonderoga. It was an aircraft carrier, and they fed 5,000 men 4 meals a day. So by doing it,
Wow.
so that's the whole idea, is to get one big house. So I made an offer on had gone out of business. It was a nursing home, a 27-bed nursing home. And I offered them $1 million, and they didn't take it. They took a cash offer of 300,000. So what can I do? But you just keep offering. You'll never make it unless you keep offering. So what the idea is, there'll be 25, let's say, little ladies who move into the nursing home. Okay. And we move them in. There's no charge. At no point does any dollars come out of their pocket. Instead of getting a $2,000 Social Security check, which doesn't make it because they've got taxes, they've got insurance, they got all 5 houses, they don't make it. So those 25 $2,000 checks get deposited into our account. So now I got $50,000 a month. Okay, put them on food stamps, or they already are on food stamps, and they get $300. So that's $7,500 a month that I can spend at a wholesale location to get the food a lot cheaper. And then there's food pantries. So they offer us about 65 pounds, maybe about 30 kilos of food every week. So with 25 of that, I've got 750 kilos of food a week. So I have more food than I can handle, more food than I need. And so who's going to take care of them? That's the reason why I'm here in the Philippines. because of the nurses. So
Yes.
I'm going to be married into a,
The famous
and they'll be
for the
coming to
nurses.
America. They are very famous for that. So they take care of them. So there's 25 ladies are there, and there's no charge for them. And after 6 months, if they want to move back to their cold house, we'll move them back, move their social security check back to their house, back to their account. So there's no problem. It's all done legal. We don't, we're not trying to screw them out of anything. So it's all done with attorneys, and we have no problem with that.
It's
So
all
what we're going to
about
do is have,
is it's all about adding value, right? Because
right.
and solve a
So
problem.
yeah, so 5 little ladies get together, and that's where we go out and we purchase or swap 2 of their houses for a big house. Everybody wants to downsize. We want to upsize because who's going to take care of these 5 little ladies? My Filipina family. So they come and they live in that house, and now they're taken care of 24/7. The husband is the driver. Their kids are there. So it's not separating the Filipina family.
Mm-hmm.
So they all come there and they stay maybe 6 months, and another family member comes in. So they don't have to stay there forever. There's a rotation back and forth. But what I do is I pay for all their expenses, and they're paid in the Philippines. So they're not really a worker in the United States. They came
Mm-hmm.
for a vacation. They go to see their family. They hang out at this big, huge house. Their family members leave. They hang out. They're not getting paid. They're not a paid worker, but the paycheck goes to the Philippines. That's a contractual agreement with a corporation there. So they're not even involved, but they get their room and board, and they get an allowance, and they can spend it. They get a little like a debit card. So they use that, and they get travel around. They get some travel for some vacation time. And we also give them some additional training, like send them to France or to Italy for a short time, a 6-week course on their cuisine, because we want them to be cooking extremely quality food for our little ladies. After 3 of the little ladies pass away, then what happens is that the house reverts to the ownership of the Filipina family. That's why they're going to take care of it. They've got a material stake in this. That's why they want the house to be in better shape in 5, 10, 15 years from now, because they're going to own this house. Now, on the other side, the little ladies have $5, $6, $7,000 a month each to spend however they want. They can go on vacation for the first time. They've got money.
Exactly.
This is phenomenal. So that's where I have their other houses. I turn into rentals or turn them into a restaurant. So that's another one where I can feed people with free food and bring in $5,000 a day. So tying those all in together, that's how I'm going to be helping not only the real estate, because now I've got, let's say, 25 houses underneath my limited partnership. I've got like $12 million worth of property, and we do that every 6 months. So this can be done anywhere. The housing problem is there's too many people in one little house. Bring them back together again. But they got to meet and greet. So like you said, people with a agreeable personality, I filter them into that one. And the people who are disagreeable, they go to another one. And they can just yell and bitch and scream at each other, and they can have that life over there. But the nice people, the ones that want to get along like you and me, very agreeable, not a big deal, we're a little bit late on breakfast, no big deal. We're a little late on this. And that's the kind of people I can put into a house. So that's my plan. And I have another book coming out
Sounds
soon, but I
amazing.
got to prove it.
The plan is spectacular, Tommy. Solve a big problem
Right.
actually, because it's sad, the state that the elderly people are, right? And you see, at the end of the day, they need community. One of the
Right.
I remember in London, the cab drivers, I take a lot of taxis, right? And then they have an office, and they play cards, so they stay together until they don't have a call. It's like a cab an office for taxi for cabs, right? And so we have the number every time that I need the ride. We call this. They are always there on call, and they take you everywhere to London, right? Called minicab. And so I get, because I use those cabs a lot, I've become friends with most of the drivers, and I talking to them, and I say, and when I am speaking with those drivers, they're telling me, I said, look, do you like Spain? They say, yeah, I own a house in Spain. Um, and I'm telling them, man, but then why you don't retire and go to live in Spain? And they always tell me, Harry, the last person that retired in the minicab died because they're not active anymore. They don't have community anymore, so they go separated in alone in the house, and that's it. They this is the that's the end of it. The person need a meaning, a purpose in order to move forward. And I think that what this idea that you are developing, the most important is that we give them a sense of community to certain people that they are vulnerable, that they are isolated, and yeah, what's the point to be living and in a good house that worth a lot of money and you're miserable there and nobody can look after you and you're very
Right. That's what.
vulnerable, right?
Yes, and I've been here in the Philippines for 10 months, and you'll find them to be very friendly. And I've asked every single one of them, what's the reason? And they always give me one answer. It's one word, it's two syllables, and it's family. They have what I didn't have, but now I do have because I'm here. So if there's any men out there who want to have a feminine wife, come here to the Philippines and you'll be treated very well. They love our age. There's no description. It doesn't matter what you look like. they really appreciate our wisdom, and they can be young, they
They
can be
all
middle
speak
aged.
English.
I mean,
They all over
they
there,
that's their
everybody
second
speak
language.
English, right?
Right. And I have written a book. It's to be published. My fiance is doing the artwork right now, but it's a
Oh,
book
wow.
called How to Speak a New Language in 30 Days. And this is for the expats that are here. And I'm doing it in the three languages. The one I speak is Hiligaynon, which is the third most popular. Then there's Subano, which is the second one. And then there's Tagalog. So after I have those three books, I'm going to do it for all 50 languages because it's very simple. It's a
Philippines is a
whole
big,
revolutionary new
big
way.
country, Tommy. Huge. So many
Mhm.
island is a huge country, right?
Yep,
Uh,
there's 7,641 islands, but they're not all inhabited. But yeah, there's about 113 million here, and 79 million of them have been jabbed with that poison. And so they're dying. They're dying all around the world. So I have the antidote and I have a solution to
so
the
what the
COVID.
poison, Tommy? Tell us.
It's They have jabbed 79 million Filipinos here of that COVID vaccine. So this is killing people. So I have the
So
antidote. I have the solution.
okay, wow, that's crazy. So, Tommy, why becoming a conscious entrepreneur, like do good and make money at the same time? What give you this sense of purpose? Again, you don't need to be there. You can live very comfortable life anywhere you want. You definitely can afford it. Why go there to where the people that need it the most? Yeah, say, well, I came here to look for a wife. Yeah, you could find a wife everywhere, right? In the developed country, which is safe. You can find a wife in Dubai. You can find one in Singapore. I've been in those countries. They are is very safe, right? You work on 3 a.m. Nothing will happen to you. They are very expensive, right? But it's then you decided that no, it's a good idea to go and live and to find my wife um, in a country where where is less developed, and then you land there and with your skills, let's see how can you help the people around you, right? Uh,
Oh yeah.
so where do you find
13
this
years
sense of
ago.
purpose? I'm very very inspired for
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Look at you. You
and
just
you're in
arrived very little and you have a lot of projects. You have those shelters with bamboo, which I'm actually very, very impressed. You had the turmeric production, by turmeric is very good for health. And
absolutely.
yeah, and
That's one of the antidotes to what they have jabbed in people. They haven't jabbed
mhm.
me, so I saw that coming. So yeah, well, 13 years ago, my wife said, after 28 years, said, get out and take the dog with you. So on purpose, I became homeless. Yeah. And I took a vow of poverty because I've never been poor. I wanted to feel what it was like to be hungry at night and not have a place to stay. I was never dirty. I was never a drug addict, and I never took charity. What I did is I always worked a deal out like the wolfing, where I would stay at a place and do something for them, and they would do something for me, like a place to sleep and some food. So that's how I lived. And that's walked in faith with God. So what drives me is God's mission, and it's on what I call the 3H Club. That's hunger, housing, and humanity. And the housing, you can figure out the bamboo and things like that. And I described how to do that too. And then there's a hunger, which is a food. So we take the food stamp and from the food pantry and put that all together. And that's how we can feed people 2 5-course meals every day from what they were given. And now we can offer so much more extra food. We now have people pay a reservation and they get free food. So the food's free to me. Some people got a real problem of me trying to get free food and selling it. So the food is free. All they can do is pay for a reservation. So for $10, they get a 5-course, 5-star quality restaurant meal. And how I do that is by having people that want to be a chef. I have a culinary artist in residence. So people that want to be a chef, I have them to be an artistic chef. They live there for free and they're given an allowance and they cook all day and bake all night. So in a 90-day period of intensity, they're going to walk out being a chef. They know the science behind it. They know the cuisines. They'll know 7 cuisines, and they're cooking all day, baking all night, doing what they love to do, but they're doing their art. So this is called Art You Eat Gallery. So you sign up for a private membership association for $10, and now you get to come in. It's not a restaurant. It's an art gallery that just happens to do it in food. And you sit down if you want to eat it, fine. If you want to take it home, fine. If you just want to look at it, fine. It's your chance to come into the gallery. But we need to stagger you so that everybody doesn't all show up at one time. So for $10, doing about 400 meals plus the one-time thing for the tourists will pay a one-time the membership fee. But
this project you want to do it in Philippines or in US?
$5,000. Yeah, we bring about $5,000 in a day. And that's giving away free food.
So this project, when do you want to take it place, in Philippines or in US?
Well, that was the problem. I tried for 2 years. I did presentations to city councils. I went to senior residences. I went to churches. I went to food pantries. They all had a commercial kitchen, and they all had food distribution.
Yes,
and people are hungry.
Church also have commercial kitchen. Yeah.
You've got an empty kitchen and you got these people who are hungry. And at the end of the month, they don't have enough. And they're trying to eat, really cruddy stuff like macaroni and cheese out of a box. And it's just terrible. So they all said, no, 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 no. So I said, forget it. I'm going to come here to the Philippines where I can do things a lot easier and a lot less risk. So here, what I'm doing is going to the farmer that's selling their food in a market. So I buy some carrots. Then I come back the next day with carrot cake. Now, this is in boxes. It says Art You Eat Gallery. So it's ready to be sold. So I take their raw product, turn it into a finished food product, and bring it back and give it to them, give it to added value, give it to them free. And so they say, well, what's this all about? I said, let's work a deal out. You give me your trash, which would be a treasure to me. And went, what trash? You're cutting all these vegetables and throw them away, right? And all these vegetables are rotting and you're throwing them away. Throw them my way. So here's a bucket for seeds. So I want all the seeds to sprout, which is going to be greenery food in a week, right? A week or 10 days. Then I want another bucket of all your scraps, the stuff you're going to cut up. And that's fine. That'll feed my pigs, my chickens, my ducks, my rabbits, all the things I can feed them with that vegetable food material. And then when it's so bad, I feed my plants. So that's the composting direction. And then I want another bucket of food that's edible, just not really presentable. Maybe it's got some really bad thing.
You cannot sell it because it doesn't look good.
You can't. Right. But it's valuable to me.
Absolutely.
So
can make an amazing carrot cake with it.
Right. So throw me those papaya and I'll come back with this papaya that's about to rot. Tomorrow, it'll be unsellable. It'll be rotting. But today, it's the sweetest right now. I then spend 5 hours. We have our team of people come in who want to be chefs. And now they're making all this papaya pulp into papaya jam. and now it's in a jar. Next day, it's on that person's shelf, that vendor, and the vendor's going, "That's my papaya. How did you go and make that Pam?" Well, Art You Eat does it. We have a relationship, and so now they're making 1,000 pesos more a day. In 30 days, that's two people's income. So I'm giving them something free. They're giving me something for free. Yes, it's unequal if you look at the dollar, but I don't care. I have to have this food for my chefs to learn how to cook. So
Absolutely.
that's the foundation. So they need to cook and they need to cook all day and bake all night. And so that's the foundation. So once I have enough volume, then I can have a gallery open up,
Yeah.
which my fiance is an artist. So now she gets to put her art stuff up on the wall. And then we have the chefs become artists in their own way, and we help them open up their own gallery.
Restaurant.
So now
They
we can
can open
duplicate
their own
this.
restaurant, and also they can
And
or if they want to work in United States, Canada, whatever, as a qualified chef, there is a lot of demand for it. Or I mean, all over the world. In London, there is a lot of demand for chef all the time.
once I
Qualified
can prove
chefs.
the concept and prove
Yeah.
the numbers,
No, they're
then
gonna
it's a
have
no-brainer.
portfolio, Tommy. They're gonna have portfolio. Better that the CV is a portfolio of pictures. Look, a
Oh yeah.
chef with that kitchen, they can show what they have done. Yeah. In my opinion, that's
Yep.
better than a CV, right? CV will say, "Oh, I'm amazing," blah blah. So your chef, they coming out there with the portfolio. Every time that they cook something, they
Right.
take a picture. They can have their own catalog what they made, and something that's very skill based, at least in the form of art, right? In an artistic way, like you're
So then the
sharing.
first thing we do once they graduate in 90 days is buy a piece of property, creative financing, and we have them build. Where I'm learning here is a mud house, mud on the outside with my bamboo on the inside. So we build a 3-story structure. In the bottom is going to be Art You Eat restaurant, right? The
Yeah.
food. Next door to it is a pharmacy. Above that is going to be medical clinic, and that's where the medical offices and our clinic is going to be. And then above that is where you have a rental for us overnight or a hotel. Then up on top is where you grow the food vertically, and your animals are up there. So we take someone who's got nothing and nowhere going, but has a dream of being something, and they can love to eat. Well, do you want to be a chef? Okay. Are you artistic? Not really, but we'll teach you how to be. So they have that passion. So if they got the passion, in 90 days, they were building their own Art You Eat structure. And now they're going to have money coming in from not only the restaurant, but from the pharmacy, but from the rental. And so we're pushing these people out of that, as you say, not developed. Oh yeah, they're very well developed. We have cities here. We're not a third world country here at all.
Yeah, and then people can create their own economy. Because you see somebody that develop the skills, they become employable, and actually they don't depend on anybody. They can build their own mini restaurant, their own mini things, and they can create their
They're
own job.
employing
They can
people.
create their own job.
They're employing the people. Right.
Exactly.
They're the source of the income.
Absolutely. Exactly. They become the people, Tommy, with some skills. If we can teach them some skills and some
Oh yeah.
basics for entrepreneurship, they can do a lot of good for society. They generate income, and they employ other people, and these communities thrive. Right? What a am- amazing way to use your knowledge. So you sound that you're busy there. Yeah.
Yeah. I've created a new word. It's called an artistpreneur. An entrepreneur, yeah, but this is an artistpreneur. So you're an entrepreneur and an artist, because usually that doesn't work together. They're an artist, they don't do things very well with books and accounting and taxes and money and stuff. So we can combine the two together. So artistpreneur.
Okay. So tell me, people want to find out more about what you're doing, how people can find you, how this process works. Somebody want to be
Oh, sure.
involved in all your community projects. Yeah, I think the project that you're doing in Maine, that one sounds amazing, right? Can help a lot of people there. So if people want to talk to you, to find you, how this process work.
Oh, sure. It's just very simple. Tommy A. Kilpatrick on Facebook. That's the easiest way to send me a message. We'll chat. And if you do that, I will send you my book. And that's what I came here to do, is to do all this. I wrote a book called Forgive and Forget: How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt. And that the finances from that, the money I make from that, finances what I'm doing here. So Tommy A.
Oh, wow.
Kilpatrick on, and in the show notes, there'll be things there for my email and stuff. You can contact me there. And this is where I'm able to help people who are actually, I have discovered that banks worldwide have committed bank fraud. And so what I do is I am your victim's right advocate. So people that have what they think is a credit card is not truly a credit card. A merchant is what can issue a credit card. A bank can never do that. They can only do a loan. And to do a loan, they have to have a promissory note, which you never signed. And fraud undoes all contracts. So what I'm able to do is educate the person very simply, very easily. And we notify the bank to close this free checking account. And we have all the evidence. Because you're a crime victim, your credit report shows that you have been a victim. Now you file complaints with the state and federal authorities, and that documents that you're a victim. And now we notify the bank that now they've got an investigation of their fraud. And so all we want them to do is close the account and show it to be closed by consumer in good standing. And now I teach them how to turn right around and get a credit card again, but now with knowledge and know what they're getting into. So if we don't get them out of debt, we get them out of being a victim of what's been happening to them. And most people, I find them money. So one podcaster I talked to 2 weeks ago, I found him $20,000 he didn't even know he had. So what would be great for me is a company who's got $100,000 to $300,000 of corporate credit card debt, and their board of directors are all maxed out. They're trying to keep the company going. They know it's a viable company. It's got too much debt, and all of their employees. So that's where the attorney, which is most likely their vice president, would say to them, we are victims of fraud, and here's the CPA. He's going to explain how the bank does not have an invoice. We have no debt with them, and they did not issue a loan. What they did, they duped us into this credit card account, which is a free checking account. So we're going to write a letter to the bank explaining all this. The attorney's going to draft up the lawsuit, and we're not going to file, but they'll know what's happening. And so we're going to say, if you want to jump on board, but you better take your money out now before we do this, because they're going to steal your money. So that's what we do. We send them off. And now in 45 days, the company has no more as a bank issued alleged credit card debt. And now they actually have 100,000. I found them. So this is what I'm doing all around the world.
Thank you so much, Tommy. That's been amazing. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like Tommy break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.